Hello, and welcome to Automate That, the segment of Growth Decoded, where we show you how to automate, well, that. Now you might notice that we're in a new location today, and that is because we are back on site in the ActiveCampaign HQ. The only thing that's missing is my co-host, Cody. Let's see if you can find him. Good. Oh, Cody. Here he is now.
Hello. Great to be back.
It's good to be with you, sir. This is actually kind of historical. The first time we have ever filmed Automate That while we've been in the same room. So, without further ado, let's get into this thing.
Let's get into it.
Here we are, as always, with the chef hats. Now, this week, we've got a very special automation recipe dealing with Facebook custom audiences. Cody, can I get a drum roll from you? They get better every week. Every week. All right, this week's automation recipe of the week is...
Segmented ad to Facebook custom audience. Let's look at the back of the baseball card stats. It's for any industry. If you're using social media, you should be using this recipe, especially if you're using Facebook custom audiences. Features, social, forms, and custom fields. Use cases, marketing, experience level growth, stage of the customer journey, reach and engage. And real quick note about that experience level. It's not that it's a difficult automation to set up, it's just that there are things that you need to set up ahead of time, including the integration itself and the Facebook custom audience messaging.
So nothing within the automation is too complicated, it's just that precursor of setting up the integration.
Just some things you got to do before you import the automation.
Okay, we can see a little bit of an image here on the right, but let's get into what this recipe lets us do. Cody, take it away.
So the very first thing it's going to let you do is show targeted ads and messages to your audience using Facebook custom audience. If you're not using this tool, it's really great. It allows you to appear wherever your audience is looking. You know, Facebook, when they're on their mobile, when they're on their desktop. It's great. And of course, because of the power of the automation, it allows you to segment your messaging however you want. And lastly, you can use your customer's own information, since we're using a form trigger, spoiler, that allows you to segment based on the information they've given you. So it won't be a surprise. It's not like trying to talk to a cold lead. These are things that interest your customers because they've told you they interest them. So
it even takes it a step further, because Facebook custom audiences is already a segmented audience of people that you know, but this is taking that and finding a segment within that segmented audience and really advertising even more granularly, so that you can be sure that the ad that you're sending them is exactly what they want to see because they've told you what they're interested in.
Exactly. Don't just talk about, for instance, your accounting firm. Talk about what type of service they're interested in. Perhaps it's tax returns, perhaps it's, accounting for their company. You can advertise different things to different segments of your audience.
Well, it's perfect, because that solves one of the biggest problems of advertising, which is how do you ensure that your ad is finding the right person for that ad?
Yep.
Awesome. Okay. We're going to the automation store, Cody. What are we putting in the cart?
We're just getting one of those submits form triggers,
Love
3
those.
if-else actions, and 3 add to Facebook custom audience actions.
Looks like we got a buy one, get one on those. Okay, so we kind of talked about this before, but we've got the ingredients home. They're on the counter, mise en place. What do we have to do first?
So the first thing you want to do, make sure you have your Facebook custom audience integration set up both for your business and connected to your ActiveCampaign account.
Perfect.
Next, we're going to decide on how you want to segment the audiences and who will be receiving what messages. Now, this will tie into a couple of things. For one, when you build out your form, you want to make sure that you build out a question that has answers they can select that you're going to use to segment by. Also, you're going to, as we say in the second message, build out your messaging you want to show on Facebook and the ads for the custom audience. We're just going to be choosing, not building those custom audience ads in ActiveCampaign. So that's work you do in Facebook, but then when you do import the automation, you're just selecting from a list.
Yes, absolutely. And so within your Facebook account, you're going to want to create that specific audience. It will be the email address type of custom audience, but then within that, you'll want to name it exactly what you would want this ad to, just to make it easy for yourself. So definitely get that all set up, and then you can import the automation. And when you do that, it looks a little something like this. Cody, this looks a little complicated. I'm not going to lie to you. Please put me at ease here.
Yeah, let me put you at ease immediately. So let's talk about it from the top down. Very first thing, when a contact submits a form, they're going to enter this automation. Now you're seeing a lot of different pathways, but technically all we're doing, let's say your question has 3 answers. We're just saying, which of the 3 answers did they choose? And once it's yes, they chose this one, they go to the yes path and go into that Facebook custom audience, and then that's what they'll see. You should make sure that they can't choose multiple answers, because if the first one is right, they won't go to the next few. So you want to make sure that you're basing it on something that there is a specific answer to or a preferred answer. But yeah, and that's really it. You can build out whatever you want. You can build out a wait step of how long you want them to be in the custom audience, and then remove them from that Facebook custom audience. We know that our education team really talks about that in a couple of videos, figuring out how long you want someone exposed to the ads, because you pay per the person in the ad. But yeah, and that's it in a nutshell. And you can really customize it however you want.
So speaking of that, the whole salt to taste type deal, we've got here as the trigger is a submits form tag, and then these if-else conditions would ask, if the information that they put into that form is either a yes or a no and matches. Could you use a different form of segmentation, or a different source of segmentation, I should say? Maybe not a form, but you have information about them from a different source.
Yeah, for sure. So it really depends on the information you want to use to segment, and making sure that it's a condition you can segment by. First of all, you could use a form integration. So if you are not using ActiveCampaign forms, but you're using something like Typeform or Unbounce, then feel free. The other thing is, as you called out, Ernie, this could be done where when someone enters my pipeline, enter them in this, and then the deal type they are, depending, or what pipeline they're in or stage they're in, could also do this.
Sure.
So it all depends on just, what you're using to segment, and making sure. The reason we recommend a form is someone's telling you something, so we know we can segment about it. So that's just another thing to consider, is what are you segmenting by, and making sure you have that information.
Perfect. Okay. So, that's a great recipe, a way to take Facebook custom audiences further. It looks like we've got a couple of other recipes here. What are we looking at on this slide?
Really exciting ones here. So first of all, for everyone who's got an online storefront, e-commerce, or if you just have an online storefront, as we said, we've got Facebook custom audience for accessory upsell. So when someone buys your main product or a product from you, you can, enter them into this automation where we're just going to immediately start showing them, hey, you have this. If you want to make life easier, this thing naturally works with it, and you can start upselling them through Facebook custom audience. Secondly, we have score-based Facebook custom audience. This one's also really great. So let's say you're using an engagement score or some other type of scoring you have built out in the system. This checks for thresholds and enters them into the appropriate Facebook custom audience while removing them from the previous one. So early on, you can just do touch points, letting them know maybe your story. But then as they get more engaged, now we're trying to sell that upsell.
Right.
Now we're trying to get them to click maybe and sign up for an appointment. We start making sure that it gets targeted to where they are. And then lastly, we wanted to close out, because specificity is great and we always love to show how. So we showed an industry one. Author new book promotion on Facebook custom audience. So this is simply someone signs up for your list, someone new, as a way to greet them and get them knowing about you and keeping them up with the latest and greatest. You're going to enter them into your Facebook custom audience for your newest book and encourage them to, buy if they don't have it or interact in some other way. But a lot of different industries can use Facebook custom audiences. So we just wanted to show a kind of more specific one. But yeah, that's it, Ernie.
Yeah, this is fantastic. As Melissa said, throughout my interview with her and throughout the course of this episode, she loves using the custom audience integration because it just updates itself. When you get new contacts, when you learn new things about them, as evidenced by this featured recipe and then these 3 related recipes, if you have something that you learn about a contact that you can use and you have that automation set up, they will immediately start seeing the appropriate ad on Facebook, and it's just like magic. So, as always, Cody, thank you very much for your time. Thank you all for watching. And that's that.
Automated. Thanks, guys. Have a great one.
Hi, thank you for watching. If you are enjoying Growth Decoded, you can find a link in the description to sign up and join the Grow team. You'll get exclusive content and opportunities that have to do with the show. You can also hit the subscribe button for ActiveCampaign's YouTube channel somewhere down here, and you will never miss an update from us.